Hello, everybody. I hope the apocalypse is treating you well. We have a special episode today. We've got Louis-André from the Vassal World Cup here to talk about his list, his adventures, and then tell you about the next thing we plan to do. So, Louis, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Hi, James. So that's it. I'm the only Quebecer of the Canada in the World Cup, Vassal World Cup, in fact. So I start playing Vassal since the start of the epidemic, and I really love it because it's full of very high level player, and it's crazy all the big tournament that we can find there. So yeah, I have a lot of time playing there, and so I call you to have a little chat about my list of the world because I received a lot of good commentary about it, and I think we could have a lot of fun to try to build a list to counter that one, because that's mostly the way I like to build lists. So having a challenge, a list that it's very complicated to beat, and finding the weakness and then work around that. So that's the plan.
Yeah, so your list, we'll take a quick look at the list first. So, you've got
Yep.
four activations. The core of the list,
Mhm.
obviously, is the Assault Frigate Mark B. So it's
Mhm.
got the assault frigates are just in a really good place right now because
Yep.
ISDs seem to be in trouble. Um, Onagers are out there a lot, and the assault frigate can just run rings around them. Really, it's got the evade, which is perfect.
Mhm.
Agate means that you're not getting your accuracy. It doesn't matter. And the
Mhm.
reinforced blast doors is really good value on something that only has 6 hull. Um, Walex is obviously, agate fodder.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to say that Walex is a very good complement to a gate, because many times you will have to burn something just to feel secure, and then right at the beginning of the next activation, boop, you gain back your brace or your evade or your whatever, and or even the salvo, because that's also can be very cool to add a salvo with Krisha when the matchup allow it. And yeah, Walex is just the perfect guy the perfect officer to fit on that boat.
How often do you put in the salvo? That seems like.
Not that much. It's mostly, I would say mostly against MSU list, while you know that you don't really care about an extra brace, or if you face, I put very often evade, because if I face a TRC Corvette or TRC something, or a
Mhm.
you will need an extra evade, and so I will say that perhaps 1 on 5 game salvo it's used, and perhaps 2 on 5 the brace, and 2 on 5 the evade. Yeah, like yeah. So and I put LTT on both of my ship, because um, I mostly find that a kind of well, we don't we don't finish to make the presentation of the list, so I will let you
Yeah,
continue
no, I mean,
to share it.
like LTT is just so powerful. Like it's so flexible, and it means as well
Yeah.
as that you don't have to spend. You're able to hold on to an evade or two for a turn longer versus TRCs. But yeah,
Hmm.
I suppose one kind of zombie resurrection that a lot of people haven't seen is the assault frigate as a carrier. So the Gallant
Hmm.
Haven flight controllers, like since the
Yeah.
nerf, it's
Yeah.
been kind of counted
I
as overly expensive.
Well, I never find Gallant Haven a very good title. In fact, every time I try it, it was more disappointful, and I perhaps use it one round and then that's it, or I have to expose too much my frigate, and then because of the intel, every attack just goes on the gallant event and it blew up. So now with Krista, reinforced blast door, and all the stuff that we can have on it, uh, that that ship just become a huge tank, almost better than a large one. So that's the reason why now I'm confident of putting Gallant Haven on it. Yeah,
So you're able to keep the assault frigate in where Gallant Haven's needed now because it's just so
yeah,
survivable. Yeah.
yeah. But Gallant Haven, you won't have to use it very often. It's just more if you face a slow list or a list with a lot of dice that it's gonna impact on the squadron, because uh, I think I think I use it perhaps 2 times on 10 games or something like that, but it's just a good security because when you brace and then you remove a dice, a damage, it's crazy to start with a 4 damage and then end with only 1 damage, or even 0 damage if you just use bigs and redirect that damage to somewhere else. So it's pretty tinky.
Yeah. And I suppose
Yeah.
the Sloan match is the really scary thing because without the kind of blanket defense there, they will tear through your squadrons.
hmm hmm
Um,
Yeah.
and with the TRC seems like a classic, except for maybe the engine techs, which makes that ship fairly expensive. But I suppose we had Truthiness on talking about how unpredictable it makes a Corvette.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, I just lose again Truthiness in the Vassal World Cup, and it was a great game, and he did a very good blockade in front of the frigate, so he deserved the victory. It was very cool from himself, and I just start playing bad after that loss of the frigate, and I just think, okay, so I'm gonna try to get some point with my Corvette lift, and I wasn't thinking that the Corvette just gonna die by a Story C Jaina slide too. So I don't try to escape with the Corvette, but I could have done that very easily, and that's that's the that's the way we should play a Corvette at the end of the game. So just boost the speed and engine tech to get out of trouble. So that's a very good ship to stay in to stay in the game, and to always go at the good spot. And I use LTT instead of TRC um, because it's Janus Light. So Janus Light, you you can tricks the opponent by attacking the squadron through your stuff, through your obstacle or ship,
Yeah.
and that mostly people just forget about genocide, and they don't think that perhaps the genocide will flag on the squadron and then add 2 black dice, and that can be very a good advantage and a good game changer. So that's the reason why I put LTT on it,
Yeah.
because it's genocide. Yeah.
And I suppose, like, if Jaina's Light survives and your squadrons survive and everything else is dead, you still haven't given up that many points.
Yeah, because well, the frigate is still around 127 point, which is a good amount, but not that crazy when we compare it with a capital ship of ISD,
Yeah.
by example. So yeah, every everything is not that expensive in that build,
Well, we say
except the
that. We look at Bright Hope next.
yeah, well, Brightov is a good part. Brightov, it's he have more upgrade than the cost of the ship. So 42 point for a float vest, it's pretty rare, but it's a very decent add to the fleet, because with other talent it can make a lot of good little tricks and good little gain,
Hmm.
and Of course, BCC when you need it, it's so perfect, so good. The reroll in the game is the most probably the most valuable things. So you need it. And well, boosted come because it's always bad to be out of range,
Yep.
and the medium range is actually very short. So for the squadron, so you need it
Yep.
even just until the end of the game. Boosted come, so which I also have on the frigate. Boosted come is always mandatory way before, in my opinion, way before Angarbe, uh, expanded Angarbe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you've got.
So
Go ahead.
the most the my prefer upgrade of the game, Turin 4. She's just awesome, allowing any other ship and squadron around to reroll a blue dice. Blue die, it's just amazing. It really changed the game, and yeah. But she doesn't deserve the Bright Hope because of the cost of the other.
Yeah.
Bright Hope is so good, but yeah, Adar Talon and BCC is way too important
And
in
I
my opinion.
presume like Adar Talon like has a dual role as well because he can send in Corrin to kind of snipe, and then if you're going first,
Yeah,
Corrin gets out, or he can.
yeah.
You end up with asteroid tactics, and suddenly Lando is killing a flotilla automatically in one turn,
Hmm.
which is.
Yeah, yeah. That can be very cool. I saw Rocax, Carlo Ro, to doing that with the Ador Talon and Lando. It's okay. Yes, you burn the two brace, but you just get out. You just burn. You just kill a flotilla. So it's a very good game, and also, if we watch my squad list, Gold Squadron is very often one of the best that we can use for Adar Talon because two blue with Torin and BCC around, it's always a very good hit, and and yeah,
It's
I
just
use it
Gold
very
Squadron
often.
is just fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's very good.
so we've got Biggs and Jan for the stand and three X-wings. I presume just keep everything else alive. The X-wings can
Hmm.
go in and bomb once everything else is dead. But and with
Hmm.
Bomber Command Center, they can be reliable enough. Uh,
Yeah,
but
they 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 really need BCC, in fact. Otherwise, it can be more frustrating than anything else. The red dice, you can trust it.
no,
So yeah,
red dice
and
hate us.
then yeah, so Korenorn is it's it's one of my new best squadron because now there is so much counter squad, like with the separatist
Yep.
new faction, and always Shara and Taiko. It's man, it's it's you always gonna have to deal with that in a tourney. So Korenorn with Adar Talon, it's a very good combo, and also because he has a speed 4 and the speed of the squadron in the rebel squadron is a huge weakness. So a speed 4 sometimes can be very useful. And of course, Lando, it's like way too good to not be in the list.
Yeah.
And I end up with the perfect 134 point. So yeah, that's why I also love that. 8 squadron, perfect point there, and yeah, and also I got a bid of 5, which is very good because I find that most of the lists you're gonna have to you will be able to choose if you go first
Hmm.
or second, and with that, if we go and see the mission, I have the 3-1 with the bomber, with the squadron and the bombers, so it's pretty easy to make some good token.
Yeah.
except when it goes very bad with precision strike. And I had a match against oh man, forgot his name. Won't be long. It's true. Oh man. Uh, Ras Proteus. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ras Proteus. I guess you know him. He, it
Ran
was a
into him once
very
or
weird.
twice.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he just non-stop shoot at my Corvette, and he did a lot of point, and the Corvette just never die, and he always flip a com noise, and wow man, it was like 6 or 8. I think he did 8 token on that Corvette. So I end up winning a 6-5, but oh man, I just can't believe I, I won that game. But it was a funny and hilarious game. So that's perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah,
change? So I presume it's precision strike, fighter ambush, and superior positions.
yeah. I'm. I don't think I'm gonna change anything because yeah, I really like it like that. And I don't want to put infested field because it's good, but in some way, if I face a Morello list, it's gonna be very bad for me because infested field allowed Morello to have his token, and you don't want that. You don't want to be second and giving the Morello token. Uh, so that's the only bad thing in infested field because it's a way too good objective mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it like that.
And Morello is a thing we definitely need to worry about from
Mm.
certain players. And even if you're going to win, you're still going to have to play for 3 hours longer than you should have if you give them objectives with objective tokens. Yeah, no, I mean with the 395, like a lot of people are building to 400 now because second player seems just as strong as first in a lot of cases.
hmm
Um,
hmm
so they're okay with that. So,
Yeah.
is there any of the matches? So you talked about the Truthius and Resprotius match. Is there any other match you'd like to talk about from the Vassal World Cup?
Well, my next match gonna be against LTD, and he have Akbar list with 4 Corvette and 2 Flotillas and a bunch of generic X-wing, VCX, and I think Janors. It's gonna be an interesting game. He had the bid, so as I know him, he will take second, and I will struggle to reach his stuff. And I don't think one of us gonna have the 10-1 that we need to do the cut, but it's gonna be certainly a very interesting interesting game. Yeah. So I face um, I faced a double Onager in the pod game, and I was surprised how well it went because in fact it was sadly for him it was a squadless, not a squadless but a squadless list, and that you can't. I I have in mind that you can bring a squadless build in a competition
Yeah,
because if you fall on a list like mine, the bomber just gonna rip
rip you
everything,
apart. Yeah,
and yeah, so that's what happened. I just blew up the first Onager, which was the capital ship, and still it was dangerous because it was Onager.
and this
But
is muster that we have on screen. Yeah,
sorry.
the player was muster. Yeah,
Yes, Master,
yeah.
nice guys, very nice guy. Yeah, and it was a very good game, and I was surprised of how it went. And after that I played Mathurin and Bianicus, and they both have a nice list with around the same setup as mine. So mini squadron and
Hmm.
some good ship like that, and it went very well. It was a cool game, very stressful in some occasion, and but I always been able to be the second player. So that's what happened when you're the second player. You're a little bit more in control of the game
Yep.
because that's the way it is. So the other player, you play your games, so um, you can take the advantage somewhere, even if you have a MC30 which he activate and can blow a flotilla because of H9. But
Yep.
yeah, that that MC30. So
Ezra Bridger,
the
Ordnance
list,
Experts, Foresight, and H9s. Yeah, that one.
it was the one of Matsura.
Yeah. So we have,
Yeah,
if yeah, you might be able to see it at the moment. Um, but yeah, so those are
yeah.
tricky enough lists to beat. But
Yes, but you see the one of Biannikus game was a total destruction. Man, he was so desperate, and I feel sorry for him because he just won the Clone War only tournament of Green Knight with a super three munificent list, Kraken list,
mhm.
and he totally, oh man, he beat me so well. Ah, I said that the game finished like 11-0 for him. So at the point ah man, it was a total destruction. It was at the point it was very cool to feel that for him. So that he won that tourney, I was very happy because ah man, he ended up the pod games with almost no points. So I was feeling bad for him. So the list he have a huge problem in it, and it's because he used nav officer or
Nav
is it
teams on the
nav team?
MC80
Yeah,
battlecruiser.
it it can be good, but it's not enough for a an MC80
Mon
Karen.
Karen, yeah.
You really need the engine tech to be able to jump out of the initial arc and be at a better place every time because of the little boost that change everything.
Yep.
So that's what happened. He could not get out of the initial arc of the Monkaren list of Munster, Michael Munster, and yeah, so he lose unfortunately very badly all the game, but yeah, he's still a very good opponent.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, this is the thing. Like, assault frigates seem like the perfect answer to onagers in some way.
Yes, because and of course with a gate or an ECM, you can just put yourself right in front of it, receive the shot, and then after that just go away, get out of the initial arc, and that's it. He just lose a lot, some of the 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 shield on the side and the front or something like that, and then it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
The Onager can't do anything else after that, and yeah, that's it. It's over. But I realized that in fact the MC30, the Monkaren, and the Assault Frigate is very good. Again, the Onager, and of course the Corvette, uh, because it's all a question of navigation. If you can navigate at a good moment and get out of the initial arc, it's done. The job is done, and the Onager just lose all the potential of his attack, and yeah, that's it. It's just a hard beginning and easy ending,
Yep.
as we can say. Yeah.
I know. So
So
what we've decided, myself and Louis-André had a discussion beforehand. So what we decided we'd do is see if we can build a list, because obviously he's a better player than me, as his tournament record
all right.
shows. Without that's not a
Oh,
false praise or
James.
anything like that. But what we're going to try and do is build a list kind of match and give a good potential matchup. So we're going to try Imperials, and so
Okay.
I threw out some ideas, and I've worked on it a bit since. So what
Okay.
we're
Cool.
talking about here is kind of more of an MSU. So the thing is, the assault frigate
Hmm.
can take one or two big hits. Now,
Yes.
what I'd hope to do
E-
is try and wear them
Actually,
down. Go ahead.
Uh, yes, it can take a lot of good hits. Like like I said in the like Trutiness said in your video with him,
Hmm.
he was almost desperate how much he had to give a lot of attention with all the arc of all the attack of the Corvette and the MC-30 to the frigate to be able to pass through that. And yeah, so it can be very impressive. So you start with that radar? Is
Yeah.
yeah?
So like I'm thinking the bigger the dice pool, the better. But a lot
Okay.
of dice pools. So even if you have the mitigation of the defense token, we throw more and more dice at you. So I'm thinking a pair of weapon battery techs, raiders with decaps and with high heavy ion emplacements. So
Hmm.
you're not going to get. I was looking at Screed initially, but if you just put a second evade on, well, the Screed dice just gets evaded.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's little
But
to no point.
it's it's not a bad thing because um, if you already have one crit, you can just change another crit,
Hmm.
another dice for a crit, and then it's gonna affect it. It's gonna pass. So it's not a bad idea. But what what do you have in mind?
So I'm thinking two of these raiders, and then
Hmm.
what we have then is if you get the crit, we also add in Jonas because we're going to come back
Okay.
to the squad ball because I think if we try and burst through your squad ball, that's a mistake. We don't
Hmm.
have. We'll hit you. We'll take out an X-wing, and then we'll just get
Hmm.
murdered.
Hmm.
So Jonas for kind of working with those weapon battery techs. Now, initially, as I said, we were talking about Screed, but to be honest, I think Romedy on an Architans is a little bit better. Again, it's just more dice. He means when
Hmm.
the raiders go, their blue dice isn't obstructed and they're throwing in the extra red. The extra red might not do anything, or it might be one or two more chip damage. We don't really have any way to kind of add in additional damage with the red, but we can definitely cause a bit of trouble. Um,
Yeah.
now, so then if we do need some kind of squad carrier. So we could do either a quasar, which can
Hmm.
kind of hold its own in a fight against the CR-90 as long as we don't send it in, or we could do two flotillas. So I'm kind of unsure here myself. Like we could do either the quasar or we could do two Gazanti class cruisers.
I I, I I personally think that you should have more activation than me. Five activation can be a very good point to gain the advantage, some advantage in the game. So if you add the two Gazanti, maybe that can be a very good step.
And they can shoot as
And
well because they've got Romedy.
yeah, yeah, and they actually can help for Romody by obstructing your other ship. So I always put two Gazanti in my Romody build because of how you can play them to gain those extra dice.
Yep, yep. Okay, so
Yeah.
then that leaves 200, and we haven't done it. We haven't given the Arctans anything, but I'm almost considering another ship at this
Hmm.
point. But let's see. Like let's see if we just add if we add another Architons, and they don't have any upgrades on them, and we add
Yeah.
a minimal squad ball of just trying to annoy. So we add Valan Rudor, and we add maybe 2 to 3 TIE bombers. And let's see where we're. So this is a squad ball that's just there to kind of annoy, with Jonas to kind of trigger. So we've got 65 points. It's not too easy to go through. But add we could add 2 interceptors or something like that just to keep you tied up, because we have the RBD slots on the. So if we add 2 interceptors, we're maybe getting a bit high on the points. So if we drop a TIE bomber to add reserve hangar decks, because realistically what we want to try and do here is be at 394, 1 point of a better
Hmm.
bid. Um,
Hmm.
so then with 2 Architons like cruisers, probably LTT. What does LTT take us to? And I'm not sure. What do you think about LTT? Still leaves us in a good position. What do you think about LTT compared to
Well,
something else?
LTT is very the best in any case because you're gonna have some massive red dice and you're gonna have to reroll at least one of them. So LTT it's almost always the one I pick now. It it even in some occasion I don't have to put leading shot because LTT is mostly way enough. So yeah, and you never know when you're gonna have to when you're gonna have to add some dice to blow a squadron. So it's a very good upgrade.
So the only thing there is the reserve hangar deck. We might drop one just to add a comms net or two. Um,
Hmm.
and that keeps us at 394, but we've got 2 comms nets for when we need them. So maybe we need a
But
concentrate fire. Go ahead.
the only thing it's the capital ship is don't have any security on it. So I think you should have at least expertial tech on him because if I go to him and start blasting him with my
Yep.
squadron, it's gonna fall very quickly.
Okay, so if we expert shield techs, then we just need to drop a reserve hangar deck. So at that point, maybe the TIE interceptors are not the best because we don't have the reserve hangar decks. So then we put back in.
Because you know the idea of Jonas is good, but versus the 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 squad list that I have, he might be in game for perhaps one round,
Yep,
and I'm not sure because he can die just by 3 attack of 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 a good X-wing,
yep,
and but that's a good combo. But I realize you gonna need something like a ton of escort or a ton of other squadron just
yep.
to be able to keep it in game. So at that point, uh, I think it's better to keep the extra Architan than having the man. But you know it can be good. It really can be good, but it's a one-time deal. Like I
Yeah.
said, you throw them, and in fact for that
Like,
you almost have to. Yes.
yeah. Like I'm wondering then what we want really is a squad ball that ties you up, which is hard to do with Imperials. Like Valen and
Mm-hmm.
Bombers is fine, but they probably
Okay.
melt. The problem Valen's going to have is Corran Horn is just going to snipe him out of there in all likelihood with 5 dice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's because even if Intel has been nerfed, it's still very good.
Yeah.
To gain grit is it's a wonderful ability. So if you want to lock my squad, you have to go with at least two, but two won't stay very longer. So you almost have to throw something like four squadron in my ball if I keep my ball a ball. So and and on top of that, I may have to flag all through that. So it's like I said, it's a one time deal.
Yeah. So it's
So
like I'm wondering what helps keep us alive. What kind of squad ball can tie you up? So that is it tricky. So like if we
yeah.
look at the big, so if we look at Gamma Squadron, um, what else has a bit of heft? Zertic Storm, 15 points, 5 hull.
Hmm.
So that's 25 points invested already. So then
Hmm.
we probably look at, stuff that just wears you down a little bit so that if you do come at us, so maybe Suntier Fell?
Yeah, I was thinking about him. He can be very interesting if you have a bunch of escort, and the opponent will almost not want to shoot at him.
Yeah, and then
But
we tell, maybe?
yeah, that can be very cool because you won't have any big squad activator. So well, yeah, that's a good idea.
And then we could probably swap Gamma for another ace. So somebody like Sienna Ree who just sticks around a long time.
Hmm.
So we've got
Hmm.
Tell, Zertic, Sontir, and Sienna Ray. Seems like
Yeah.
an okay ball. It's just for trying to not get me murdered. Um,
Yeah, they are there to 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 maintain a little bit the ball, but we will see. We will see.
and that does mean we
I
can go ahead.
I'm a huge fan of Instigator, but because Instigator really can change the plan of the opponent, I almost always play it. So I almost play it in the Raider, the black one.
Hmm.
I don't really know the name. The the other one.
The
So
Raider one.
the
Yeah.
Raider one. Yes, thanks. But it can also be very good on that kind of Raider because his faculty is still good, and you 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 even can remove a squadron if you have this one, but you have to use it at the good moment. And what's the officer you put on the Raider? The
So,
first
so
kit?
that's the weapons battery techs.
Okay, to add the okay, okay, yeah,
But we like
ah yeah, so
yeah, that's just
yeah,
to
that's
enable the heavy ion
yeah, yeah, yeah,
emplacements.
yeah,
Um,
good idea, good idea. Okay,
so how do we think?
well, you know, I think you have a good base with that, and after that, it's more like a plan. You you need a plan. So I think your stuff have to stay all close together, and like that it won't be possible for me to go and try to grab some point because the potential of the flag of that things it's very strong when everything is close all around, and
Yeah.
if you hmm, you know what, now
Hmm.
you have six activation,
Yep.
you can hmm, if you drop well, a Gazanti,
Hmm.
you still have five, and you can add expanded Ngabe on the Gazanti,
Yep.
and then it become a better carrier. And with the token, he can he can throw four squadron at the round that you need them.
Hmm.
So it's not bad.
Well, if we do that, we can do one of two things. We can either make the squad ball better, or we
Hmm.
could turn the Architans into Demolisher.
Well, not bad, not bad.
Which of those
Okay.
options do you think is better? Demolisher or
Well, uh, the Demolisher might stay longer because it's still a good job to get that done. So yeah, but my kind of Demolisher always have the engine tech because I find it very essential to add that upgrade to the Demolisher to be sure to optimize his first attack. So
so let's throw.
if we do,
Do we have enough points to tech it? Need ordnance experts. Might need to dump the comms net because we're not going to be comms netting. And then we want
mhm,
assault concussion missiles because we
because it fits
it
very well with yeah.
yeah, and
All right.
that works.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because the plan is to attack with both the Raider before the Demolisher,
Yeah.
and I think that can be very good because yeah. So the deal is to stress the frigate well enough to remove the maximum of the token,
Yeah.
the defense token on it. So yeah, that can be a very nice build.
So
It's sure it's now a question of the mission because yeah, mission you will need probably gonna need infested field and asteroid tactic, but asteroid tactic
this
you
is a problem
it's a
because
problem
Lando.
because I got Lando, yeah. So you ugh. And I don't think hyperspace also can be good uh because you're gonna well no that can be good. That can be good for the Demolisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. Even
Probably
if my
hyperspace
squadron,
assault. Like the other thing we could do is contested outpost because then we force you to where you have to go, and we can just sit a transport on it and have the rest of our fleet move around potentially. But yeah, I think hyperspace assault,
yeah, I too,
and it doesn't actually
I
even need
think
to be
that,
demolisher. It can we could drop in a raider either, depending.
hmm
But yeah, hyperspace
yeah,
assault. And
yeah,
then the tricky one then is, well, it's most wanted, right, for red?
yeah. It's the goal is to get down the frigate, so most
Yeah.
wanted other way.
Infested fields and most wanted are definitely. I think the yellows. Is there anything else that we're missing? Abandoned mining facility. I have more activations, and that could force you to come in, but we don't really want to
Uh,
play that match. I don't think.
you no
No.
no, but you don't have that much good repair
Yep.
command, not command, but repair point. So
Yep.
and I too can do a lot of them.
Yep.
So oh man.
Technical difficulties.
So yeah.
Stand by, everybody. Um,
Well, my phone is on a cookie box, so
yeah. So
it is.
contested outpost, maybe. Fighter ambush, definitely not. Fire lanes, no. We've got no strategic. Fleet ambush, I'm not stupid. Fleet in being, we don't have enough big shifts. Jamming barrier, no, because we want to be able to get those dice
Yeah,
pools. Planetary ion cannons is
that's not crazy because I will be able Well, the way I play that list, it's often a flank list, and I can dodge most of them, and the frigate can receive one shot of them of the
Hmm.
ion and not feel that that bad about it. So it's good. It's always good, but I really don't think
Yeah,
of course if you put that I will take it
yeah.
and you won't have that much the advantage. So hyperspace also I think it's a better option
Rift
if you wait
ambush.
the good. Hmm, not sure about Riff Ambush.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah,
Because
but
go ahead.
yeah, the problem with hyperspace also is that you're gonna lose one of the activation and in the deployment and in the game in the rounds. So that's the reason why I'm not that crazy to play that one because I find it very useful to be able to play the a ship at the end of the opponent activation. So it's still very good. It's still very offensive and stressful because the opponent never know how it's gonna end, where it's gonna come. But yeah, but most wanted it's with that list. Oh, won't be cool.
Yeah, so like this is the thing where
Oh man, that's gonna be a good
we
game.
we are going to be playing the yellow one. That is kind of the guarantee here
Yeah.
because you're not going to go most wanted, and you can't take infested fields because the
Ah,
exogarts will eat you.
infested field. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's useful for destroying my squadron and to give you the Romody effect. So it's a no go. It's the worst you can pick against a Romody. So yeah, it's gonna be a yellow game.
so Rift Ambush, I have not played a lot of it.
Me neither, in fact. So
And it might actually make it a bit more interesting if we take Rift Ambush because it does give an advantage to Romedy. There's no stations, so every bit of flak means more
mhm.
squadrons die, which I'm not objecting to. Um, and it means that I can kind of set up the obstacles the way I want. So I think Hyperspace
Yeah,
Assault is so good, so good. Um, let's do
but
Rift
it's true
Ambush.
that I I really like the station. The squadron, my squadron really like the station. They repair a lot, and in most of my game, perhaps I just lose one squadron because they all the time go back and heal themselves, and it's a good thing to not put a mission with a station in, in the list. So Riff and Bush, yeah, can be
Let's
very
try
cool.
Rift Ambush. So, in
Yep.
to go back over it, we've got two Raider 2s with weapon battery techs, disposable capacitors, and heavy ion emplacements, an Architon's light cruiser
Hmm.
with Romedy, expert shield techs, and linked turbo laser towers, a Gazanti with expanded hangar bays, a Gladiator 1 with Demolisher, Ordnance Experts, Engine Techs, and Assault Concussion Missiles. We've got Sienna Ray, Zertic Storm, Suntir Fell, and Tel Tuvura. And
Yeah. So now, right now, I'm not sure about Tel because if we use the Gazanti as a supercarrier with a token,
mhm,
you don't necessarily have to use this one because he have the
Rogue.
effect of the rogue, so it's point for that. So perhaps we can find someone else.
Okay, so 17 points is what we have to play with. And we can take
Do,
aces.
do we have? We don't have Valen?
We took out Valen, so we could
Why?
definitely put in Valen instead of Tel.
Yeah, yeah. So it's 4 point. Is it 4 point more?
Yep, that is
We gain 4 point?
we gain 4 points. Um,
Okay. So So 4 point of fun.
That's not. So with 4 points, do we can add.
Um, could we add Vader, the Vader officer, to choke some of the
So
officer around?
we could add him to the. Could add Vader to the Gazanti, and we could
Mm-hmm.
add skilled first officers to the
The
other
demo?
ships to demo.
Yeah,
Um, and we can add them to the raiders as well. It's just 1 point for a
yeah,
reroll, and that means that we will
yeah, yeah.
almost
That's
definitely proc our.
the super crit, the double crit that we need.
Yep, that is a good point. So our ball is
Yeah,
small but
yeah.
annoying, and yeah. So
But yeah, but that ball is very long to get. It's very long to get, and yeah, you can throw. Ah, yeah, man, I like the list. Congratulations, James. It's a very
congratulations
cool
to both
list.
of us. So yeah, so the list will be down below. We
Hmm.
will update you when we have a date and time for the game. We'll play it in Vassal, and I'll stream it and record it. And
Yeah,
we might see if we get maybe a commentator or two to join in and make
yeah,
commentary after the fact. I'll
yeah.
see if there's anybody interested in that job. Give us a shout below.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, this is
And oh, also we can ask to your huge community fan to send their own thought about a list that can match very well against mine.
yeah,
That can be
definitely
great. I would
add them
love
in
to
the
see that.
comments below,
Yeah.
because like this is the thing. The most exciting part of all these tournaments is mini
Hmm.
list Christmas, as I call it. The day the organizers reveal the lists in all their glory of what madness people have come up with. That's
Hmm.
always the most fun day of the tournament for me. I'm looking forward to see, did the pod winners in the Italian one come up with anything interesting for the Dagobah side competition next. But no. So we have lists.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I guess you won your pod, huh?
I got lucky, yes.
Yeah, you won your pod, so you're gonna be in the leader tournament.
As are you.
Yeah.
Akbar
And
versus Constantine.
no, it won't be Constantine. It will be that list, that agate list.
Cool. I
Yeah.
have. I am probably going to run the General Grievous list, the Fly Fast, Die
Oh,
Furious.
really?
Um,
All right. With
he's so it's 3 ships with just 100 million tons of squadrons, loads of generics. I think there's like 2 aces and a ruthless strategist on the flagship
mhm,
for killing stuff on my own turn. To
okay.
it's he's so much fun. The wackiness of killing your own stuff, and you just throw the droids at stuff, and if they die, well, you're getting back defense tokens, and you can be really reckless with how you fly
Yeah.
it. Um,
And did you add Beast of Burden to your list?
I think at
Because
the
I find that
moment,
title so crazy, so good.
I think I've Foreman's Labor in the current version. Let me see what I sent off. Have it.
Because Beast of Burden just give your list infinite infinite defense token use.
Well,
That's
like
so good.
the thing is, because your squadrons die in the squadron phase, um,
Hmm.
you don't. I don't think you need. I've Foreman's Labor in there at the moment, rather than
Okay.
Beast of Burden. But because I know they come back like they come back exhausted. But if your stuff is dying in the squadron phase anyway and giving you back tokens, because the squadrons in that list die in droves because it's got like 5 generic,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
you refresh the tokens after. But maybe Beast of Burden is a better
Uh,
choice. You know, there are way more
well,
squadrons than I can command.
And did you play the Recusant or the other, the Providence?
Uh,
Because I find Invisible N very crazy. I just realized that you can pop the squadron at range three of them, so it's crazy good with the Iena. It's very good.
so
Wow.
I'm not playing the invisible hand one. Because I can never
No,
remember I'm playing the one with the evade. Is that
the
the?
Recusant.
Yeah,
It's the smaller one. Okay.
yeah. I think it's
Yeah,
just
the
because
one with the crazy move chart.
yeah, because if you're commanding squadrons like with that list, because of the munificent, also does not never needs nav commands generally. And I
Okay.
want to go in at speed 3. Generally, I'm like splitting out the 3 ships, going in at speed
Hmm.
3, and if they want their squad ball to protect them, well, where do they go? They can tying down the droids, but I've got 4 bombers, 1 ace
Hmm.
bomber, and 3 generics,
Okay.
and a bomber command center. Which means if those
Yeah.
hit, they cause trouble. If the ships hit, they cause trouble. So it's just like, I think it's better than the Providence because the Providence doesn't have the maneuver chart, but it also doesn't have the evade. And right now,
Hmm.
evades are just
Evade is a
fantastic.
big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, I like Evade.
And
Okay,
particularly
so
when you
it
can
it will
evade
be a
3.
pleasure to play in the leader tourney against you,
If we get
and of
matched up,
course
yeah.
that match that we're gonna play soon, pretty soon.
Yep, yep. But anyway, we'll keep you
All right.
updated. I will post a quick video to let you know maybe a day or two beforehand when we'll play this. And sure, listen,
Mhm.
thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And
Yes, it was very cool. Thanks.
no
It's
bother.
always it's the first time no, not really. I build lists with friends and my brother, but uh, like that, just a kind of little show. It's very cool because you really don't know where that's going when you let the other offering their ID, and it's cool. I will not bring that up that kind of list all by myself. So it's fun to see how the other player can think about it. So yeah, that was very cool.
I know.
Thanks.
I'm looking forward to this match. Anyway, have a lovely evening, everybody. I hope the apocalypse treats you well and talk to you soon. Good luck.